Welcome to the Organic BackFarm, October 2020. And we'll get started with this very front flower bed. And here we have dahlias that are still blooming. They are just beautiful. Then we have blanket flower that bloomed all winter last year. So I pulled it up, started it from seed, and then replanted it. And we have our white zinnias. They are still blooming. Have the dianthus. And we have the yellow chrysanthemums, known as garden mums, for this time of year, autumn. Then here is salvia. It's two trees but the same color. So that's salvia. Then we'll take a walk back here towards the compost bin, stopping by the bee balm that I cut down late summer, and then I noticed the snails had started attacking it, so I put some snail bait down, and that seems to have controlled them from munching on my bee balm. Then as we go further back to this area, I have a gardenia, August Beauty gardenia that I moved from my front porch, and I moved it to this back corner in the garden. So I think it's going to do well in this area. Then this is more blanket flower that I purchased on clearance. I actually bought two of them. This is the other one here. Then we have the clematis. That's a climber and it's growing. It was a clearance this year. And let's see what else. This is Borgia that I purchased as a transplant, and then it self-seeded. So now it's blooming again, and it's liking the cool weather. And I still have orange mint coming up. Perfect for tea. And then, let's see. Oh, this is a new addition. I purchased this blueberry bush, and I already had this blueberry bush. So my plan is for them to be able to propagate off of one another and have blueberries come spring and summer. Then this is a new addition. This is called a moringa plant, and it's actually edible, so I can either eat them fresh or dry the leaves. Then this is Wisteria here. So I'm hoping that this comes along and does very well in the come next spring. So that's the Wisteria. And we'll come to the first raised bed, which is my herb raised bed, and I have parsley coming up here. I cut back the stevia, and then there's the Mexican Marigold. And there's the lavender. And I think I have, that's more parsley coming up. And I have cilantro that I planted. It's coming up. So I plan to have lots of parsley for the autumn. Then I started this little box here with the various Coleus plants. I like that look. And they come back every year and then they can be propagated. I'm pretty happy with this aloe. Nice thick leaves. Alright, then this is a new addition. This is a nectarine plant or tree. This is my new nectarine tree. And then over there is the Honeycrisp apple that I planted in April. And I planted ginger right here in this spot. And I believe it's time to harvest it right in October. So I have to check that out and see if I have any harvest from the ginger. And these are my irises, and I'm waiting for the bloom. The foliage is beautiful. That was planted last summer. That's another salvia that I've been having for about 3 years in that corner there. I planted a new lime tree. So I have lime here, and then a few feet down I have lemon. So that's a new and improved Meyer lemon. Then I have this blue agave that I got on clearance. That's new. Then in this section here was a huge rosemary bush. And I dug it up, took it out, and now I've planted pansies here. I have a new, it's not new, a hibiscus that was in a pot that I planted in this garden space. And another hibiscus. And in between the two hibiscus, I put in Gerber daisy that's low growing. And there are the marigolds coming up. And it's just reseeded, and I started a whole new plant there. Then this beautiful rose bush. Oh, I'm in love with this rose bush. I bought it on clearance last summer, end of the season. And oh, it's so beautiful. Look at, there's a new bloom coming back there that's just starting out. And look at the little ladybug that's enjoying the rose. It just flew away. And that's more bee balm. Then in this area, I had a huge lavender bush that had been here for about 5 years. So I dug it up, and now in place of the lavender, I have Turks Cap. And the middle one is red color. And then on each end, I have the pink. So I'll back up and you can see that's the Turks Cap. And in between are my little Gerber daisy, which they're all throughout the garden. I just love Gerber daisies. Then we have our crepe myrtle. It's a diamond emerald. This color is like a fuchsia red. So waiting for it to seed, and I'll see what happens after that. If I can grow it from seed, I'll give it a try. Then the biggest project for this October was the raised beds, refilling them with all fresh soil, because I realized I had cut off my growing capabilities. I had cut off the growing right halfway by putting chicken wire and weed fabric, so I decided to take all that out and just fill it up with soil. And I did something special with this third bed, and I'll be sharing that video. But in the third bed, I have Coleus, more Marigold, zinnias. I'm sorry, not zinnias. Pansies. And they will last all throughout the winter. And then this is my Gerber daisy corner here. And I still have the dahlias. And there's raspberries, which I had to take everything out and put it back in, and wasn't doing so well, but I think it's coming back right there, so should be pretty good on the raspberries by next spring. Then we'll go over to the second bed. This is the second raised bed, and I purchased curly kale. These are transplants, so I have 4 in this bed of the curly kale. Then there's another Gerber daisy. When they're on clearance for $1, $2, I just buy them because I love them. So, and there's another one. Oh, look at that beautiful autumn color. Gorgeous. Then all along here is garlic that I purchased from a bulb. One bulb is all I needed, but I think I got 2 bulbs, and it's my first time growing garlic, so I'm looking forward to that in the spring. And then along this side, I purchased elephant garlic, but this hasn't come up yet, and this was about 2 weeks ago when I planted the garlic bulbs. So this here are shallots that I purchased from transplant back in the spring, and so the shallots, I noticed that they were rooting, and I ended up having a whole nother plant. So that's shallots here, and then there's shallots there. Then I have some green onions and chives at each end. That's garden bed 2. Then in raised bed number 1, I have some basil that I'm going to dig up and let it dry out, and I'll collect the seeds on that. And there's more of the transplant curly kale, more shallots. Then I got some transplants of cauliflower. So it's my first time with the cauliflower. So I have 2 plants, so hopefully that'll do well. Then I have my beets here. They are cool weather crops, so I have beets there, and beets there. Then I have more kale that I started from seed here. And have bell peppers coming up. All of these are bell peppers that I started from seed. I purchased the bell pepper from the grocery store and saved the seeds and put it in some soil, and they germinated. So then the marigold is still going. I'll collect the seeds from this once it finished flowering. Then I have okra that's still making. So my dad told me that okra goes until around December, so I'm hoping I get way more okra. So those are the 3 garden beds. And then I think the final thing that I added to the garden is my strawberry planter. And they have blooms on them. So I'm pretty happy about my strawberry planter. This is the garden in October of 2020. Thank you for taking this October tour with me. And have a blessed one, and I look forward to seeing you in the month of November.